Well, that's a good question. The gold has always been a store of value, and I think it always will be. So it's reliable. That's why governments generally hate gold, because it competes with the government fiat currency. Now, if we look how successful governments have been at protecting our wealth over the years, we look no further than looking at the graph that comes from comparing 1913, when the US government first put together the Federal Reserve of the US with the intent of protecting the US dollar. So now, just a little over 100 years later, how much is the 100-cent dollar of 1913? It's now worth less than 3 cents. So in 100 years, it's almost destroyed the complete value of the US dollar. So you ask me, is gold an alternative to that? It absolutely is, and everyone should have some gold, not everything, but hold your wealth in other things other than the fiat currencies that can't be destroyed by governments. In collectibles, in all manner of things. Bitcoin is something that's emerging, but there'll be other Bitcoins come along that have security that you can trust, but you can trust almost anything more than you can trust government money. The question is, you're asking if people want to hear that gold is an alternative to government money. No, they don't want to hear it. In their heart, they want to believe government. They want to believe that government is going to care for them. It never has, and it never will. Government cares for themselves. Politicians are there for themselves and their cronies. They're not there for us at all. And more people are realising that to be the truth. And that's why politics is broken. Here today, in 2017, politics is broken, and more of us realise that. We must care for ourselves, we must be responsible for ourselves, we must have our own plans for our future. If we face old age, we will be caring for ourselves. Do not leave it for the government. Don't have any confidence in government caring for us. I think Australia is a very open country, and people often laughingly ask if Australia is a racist country. I don't know why they would ask that. For instance, how could we be racist? We all came from somewhere else. So we're very international. My heritage is Scottish and Swiss, and my wife's heritage is Chinese and Japanese, so we all came from somewhere else. So we're generally open and we welcome. Australia has been dependent for 200 years on foreign investment. It's a very hard country in which to develop your own capital and form capital, so we've been reliant on international investment. But the US is the same. The US, when it started, was completely dependent on foreign capital. We know that. We know that big investment for the big projects has to come from somewhere else. So Australia will prosper as long as it is an open economy and doesn't create artificial barriers to prevent people from coming in to work with us. I'm glad you asked that question about education in Australia, because our Mancal Foundation has sent more than 1,000 young people to international and Australian think tanks to learn how other countries work, so that these young people from Australia can judge where they want to have their careers. They can see things happening better in other countries. That's highlighted and shown me that Australia has got some shortcomings in its education. A little bit stuck in the past. The syllabus is limited. We don't teach our young people about Western civilization, about the British common law, about the things that have made Australia great. We were born with those freedoms, so we just taken them for granted. But we can learn all about studies, all sorts of studies, but we can't learn enough about what has made Australia great and such a great country. So our Mankell Foundation is filling in those little missing bits for our students, and we're doing that by bringing guest speakers from around the world to talk to the young people, to give them those little missing bits of their education, to make them proud of what we're born with. Instead of taking it for granted, we'll know exactly what it is that's made us so lucky. This is my 4th Free Market Roadshow. And I think this has developed into one of the most sensational libertarian free market events in the international calendar. I think already you have an audience generated of 10,000 people each year, and the countries that it's taken me to and the people I've met have enriched my intellectual life, and I've taken back so many ideas to Australia and pass them on to our younger generation. It's a revelation of what can be done and how we are so welcome in so different countries. I'm so fortunate to be part of it. Real people dealing with real people from different countries will do far more for peace and trade and friendship between countries than all the politicians and diplomats for hundreds of years. So real people like us talking to real people are the secret of success for a much better world.